Your story, I was really taken aback by your story because, as I understand it, you're a security guard, so you have an armed, you drive a security truck, and you have, through your work credentials, you can lawfully carry a firearm, carry it with you, and you were being responsible. You were practicing safe storage at home. Was it your little sister that came out and you put your firearm, you just put it in the glove compartment so you could attend to her, and then what happened after that?
What happened after that was, due to the chain of events that did take place, I was kind of distracted, so I did leave off and headed to work. When I headed to work, I was stopped by a police officer for my registration. When I was stopped that night, he basically said my registration was expired, and I was reaching for my credentials, and I realized I still had my firearm in the glove compartment. And when I realized that, I immediately told the officer. I told him who I was. I told him I have my credentials for the firearm as well. They took the firearm, they let me go, and they said I can come in and pick it up on Monday. And this happened on a Friday, so I went down there with my credentials to receive my firearm, and they placed me under arrest and charged me with the unlawful possession of a firearm, which is a second-degree felony in the state of New Jersey.
And it seemed as though that the officer was exercising discretion initially, because you did exactly what anyone who ever is permitted to carry a firearm, you did what you're trained to do. You say immediately, oh, I have a firearm on me. You weren't trying to hide the fact that you had it. You weren't trying to act like, you know, if you open that glove compartment, he wouldn't see what was in there. You said, well, because of, you know, I have this, and you explained to him. And it seemed as though that somewhere that was overruled. How did it change from just come and pick it up to now you're going to be charged with a second-degree felony?
That's what I was trying to get at. It was kind of weird, because I'm thinking I'm coming down there to pick up my firearm. I have all my credentials, and I have my my firearms case for the firearm. Then they just said that they will be charging me with unlawful possession of a firearm. It was really it was just a blur in my mind. You know, I didn't know what to think at the time. They arrested me and they ROR'd me, and then I just was issued a court date. And that was pretty much what happened that day. And
so you accepted a plea deal, but it would make you, because you're also an aspiring police officer, but this would make you a convicted felon all for this, and you're hoping that a pardon would change this.
Yes, I took the plea deal because, you know, I have a good support system at home. I have little brothers and little sisters as well. What good would I be to them being in prison for 5 years, mandatory with a maximum 10 years if convicted, you know? And I felt as though it was unnecessary, and it was just a violation of my rights, and I didn't know what to think. So I just took the plea deal just to be on the safe side and be there for my family, because you know anything can happen to your family while you're away in prison, and you can't be there, you know? If my mother would have passed away, I wouldn't be there to bury her, you know?
Oh gosh.
And it's just an unfortunate situation, so I just did what I could to avoid it.
Lawrence Jones has been following this story incredibly close. What I don't get, Lawrence, is that his situation in many ways is similar to Shanine Allen. She's the young mother who carried a firearm for self-defense. She's from Pennsylvania, drove through New Jersey. It was a minor traffic citation. I don't remember what it was. They arrested her. They were going to charge her with a felony, but the AG overturned that, so she wouldn't have to face felony charges. Why wouldn't the same thing be done in Steffon's case?
Well, it boils down to discretion. I mean, we have the laws here, right here. We've been researching this. Basically, it seems as if the officer at the time at the scene was going to let him go and then pick up his gun. But somewhere down the line, when he made it back to that police station, there was something, maybe an overrule by a sergeant or something, but it just doesn't add up. Basically, the officer did do what he was supposed to do. He decided that Steffon wasn't committing a crime, so he issued him a citation for his registration, and then he let him go.
And I understand that laws are laws, but sometimes I think the laws are overly punitive. We have about a minute left. Do you think that this is going to be overturned? He'll get a pardon.
I do think he should. You know, and I'm concerned that the NAACP didn't help Steffon when he reached out to them.
And Steffon, you did reach out to the NAACP, and they declined to help because they have legal services, and they just declined to assist.
Well, pretty much, yes, because they did see the circumstances to the case, and they saw that it was a firearm, and basically that was just a red flag on them. They didn't really listen to what I had to say.